All right, g'day everyone. Welcome to this midweek episode. So as you can see behind me, the Troopy is all ready. It's all packed. We've had a really busy couple of days getting it done, getting everything into it. We're ready to go for the canning. We're leaving in the morning. This video is a bit of a long-winded one. It's just a lot of me talking. So if you're not into that, you might want to go watch something else quickly. But pretty much this video is just about a few of the items going in the car, including camping gear and a few of the items that got installed and you sort of can't see anymore. And it's just pretty much explaining my decisions, why we put them in, all our camping gear, as I said. So that's kind of interesting to see all the little products that we've collected over the years, because we've got some really nice stuff, and you know, it's interesting. It's a little different, I think, as well. So we will be doing a video on the conversion, which I'm sure the Headspace campus roof conversion, which I'm sure you're all itching to know about. It is amazing. So yeah, really keen to run through that one. But also the build out that Project Overland did for me in Sydney. It is just, honestly, I reckon it's second to none. I personally believe it's one of the best Troopy build outs I've ever seen. Obviously I might be a little biased, but when I show you through it, I think you might agree. So those will all be coming out in future episodes, and also we'll be doing our usual travel video. Word of warning, long-winded episode, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, so with the build out going in on the Troopy, one thing I wanted to run through before it's installed, just so it's easier, is the 12 volt. As you can see, Red Arc gear, we've been running the Red Arc gear in LC now for, you know, since we put the build out in LC. I can't fault it. It's just worked really well. You know, all the inverter and stuff got heaps of dust and got pretty beat up and everything through it, and it just worked like a charm. Besides that, I just like Red Arc as a company. I like that a lot of their gear is made in Australia. All their, you know, their inverters and their chargers and stuff. A lot of them are made in Australia, which is fantastic. And yeah, I just like it as a company, and their gear works really, really well. So 12 volt was a pretty big consideration for us, because obviously our needs are probably on the upper end of what people would be doing, because obviously we're not just charging on the camera gear for the YouTube channel, which doesn't take up a heap of battery power. It's more just like having, you know, a lot more than we would ever need just to be sort of safe. But also in the future, we could be running lighting or, you know, charging gear for weddings, because we are going to be traveling and doing weddings. So it's just about having a system that gives us plenty of breathing room, no chance of sort of running out. Because we do have such a beefy system, it is going to allow us to get a bit sort of creative, a bit interesting with our other options in the car. Namely, we are going to have gas cooking, but we are going to have a small induction plate for heating up lunch, for quick stops or one pan meals. We are also going to have an electric hot water unit, a small electric hot water kettle that we will be we'll be heating up mainly when we're driving, but it's just that we've sort of got the option with this stuff now. So I'll just run through quickly what the system is. So starting off with the charger, we've just got the Red Arc Manager 30. This thing's pretty synonymous in the industry. They're everywhere, been tried and tested. They're a fantastic unit. So that's 30 amp charger off the alternator. And then you've also got your 240 volt charging for it, and also your solar. Great unit, really well made. That is our charging. Now, this here is actually a new product. This is the TVMS Road, so it just replaces your traditional TVMS from Red Arc. Essentially, this is better suited to our application. This is a smaller unit. As you can see, it's tiny. It's sort of a slimline unit, whereas the other one's a bit bigger, probably more suited for your caravans, things like that, if you're running multiple water tanks and fridges and all these different kind of things. We're not running as much, so this will be just a better unit. As I said, brand new. I think we're probably one of the first people to get it on, actually. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. 2000 watt inverter. We have the 1000 watt in LC, which is fine, but because we want to run a small induction plate, we are going to need a bigger inverter. But just having this inverter is good for us, because we'll probably be plugging in power boards and charging a heap of camera gear if we're doing weddings or something like that, where we're just going to be charging heaps and heaps of stuff. So just having that big inverter, again, just to give us those options, and a bit of breathing room, which is really nice. And the batteries themselves are just the 100 amp hour red top batteries, which are their sort of high draw, you know, the best out there. So 200 amp hours all up. So really keen to get it in. The boys have found some really nice spots to sort of get it all in. So we'll film that process and get started. Alright, so this is the back of the car here. For the build that goes in, another thing I'll show you is we have got the car builder's sound deadener and insulation in, just in the side panels here. Troopy's are really tinny and just a lot of noise. You're just pretty much getting everything from the road. So we were kind of arming and ahhing whether we were going to put it in, because it is weight, but we decided to go for it. Thought we'd probably have plenty of room with the GBM, so thought we would get it in, just get that more touring comfort. There is the insulation here on the sides, the sort of the stick-on stuff. They've also got the foam sort of mass noise liner, I think it's called, down on the floor here, which is kind of just got like a cone perforated sort of shape to it. That should just help just with the whole noise and insulation of the car. We probably are going to be putting some in the front doors as well, because that's a point where it makes a big difference. So yeah, it's just another nice thing to have in the car. Should make touring a bit more comfortable. All right, another component that I just wanted to film quickly before it goes in is our air. Now, obviously when you're touring, it's pretty important to be able to deflate, but also inflate your tires when you're getting back on road. The last one I had in Elsie was the twin compressor from ARB, which is a good unit, but this one here is the TJM version of that. Now it's their Pro Series twin air compressor and a 5-litre tank, which I didn't have a tank in Elsie. Apparently this has a better airflow rate than the ARB compressor. That was already pretty crazy, but this one's a bigger jump again. Yeah, it's nice when you've got such big tires, being able to inflate them at a pretty good rate. If you've had a really small air compressor and you've been pumping up, 6 tires or something, you've got a trailer, that it's a bit of a pain, it can take a while. Having the tank as well, the little reservoir, that's gonna allow us to actually have like compressed air through our outlets. So if we have like, a little air nozzle on that, we want to blow, the Troopy out to clean it, air filters and stuff like that. It's just handy having that compressed air. So yeah, it's nice and touch. As I said, TJM Pro Series, it's a pretty nice looking bit of gear as well, pretty flash looking. We're just going to be sort of figuring out where we're going to be mounting it, because it's a bigger unit, so we just kind of want to make sure it's got plenty of room to breathe and not get too hot or anything like that. So we'll just have to figure out where that's going to go, but yeah, excited to get that in. Looks like a really cool unit. Okay, another little component that we've got on the Troopy, which is important, but one that's probably sort of overlooked. So we've got the Marks 4 drive speedo corrector on. So this is important from an engineering standpoint when you're putting on bigger tires. So obviously we've gone through 315s, which are quite a bit bigger than stock. They're still within the legal range, the 315s, but they do throw the speedo out, so you're not actually doing the correct speed. So obviously that's important for a few reasons. One, just from an engineering standpoint perspective, you have to have it correct. Two, there seems to be so many bloody speed cameras around these days that, yeah, I think it's pretty important to know what speed you're actually going. Good thing about this adapter is it can be changed. So if you put smaller tires on, bigger tires on, you can adjust it to whatever size tire you have, which is handy. Marks 4-wheel drive, they're pretty big in the industry for doing portals and all that kind of thing, but yeah, it's just a nice little unit they've got. So that is an important piece to the puzzle done. Right, the false floor's in, so it's marine ply, and it's just covered with a vinyl. It sort of roughly matches the timber that's on the conversion up top. Looks nice and bright, and obviously the vinyl's just going to wear really nicely, easy to clean, all that kind of thing. So that's just going to be where the whole build out is going to be bolted to. So that's a really nice system.
And the idea with the vinyl floor going out right out to the edges is that there are some spaces inside the cabinets and under the drawers and in the side wings that are all finished. Like I didn't want to necessarily just see the edge of the car. Yeah. I wanted to have the floor going right through to the edge where this open space is. And when you take your hatches off into your storage spaces, there's that same floor flowing right through.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, so it's sort of part of the structure as well.
Correct.
Like that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. No, it looks really, really good. So with Troopies, obviously, if you're getting a living space inside, you're kind of limited with how much storage space you can actually have. So it's kind of good to get a little bit creative with your storage solutions in the Troopy. So same as our spare tyre bag, our Outback Gear Solutions, we've just got these little pockets here, these little canvas pockets that actually just mount up to the doors, but rear doors like that. So obviously you're at the back of the Troopy a lot doing stuff, getting stuff out. So I don't really know what we're going to put in here yet, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Install's not particularly difficult, I haven't really done it yet, but if you have nut-cert tools, that's better. If not, they do supply just screws to screw it in. But yeah, so I'll get these on and I'll see how they look. And just like that, the Outback Gear Solution bags are done. Hey, Steve?
It was only a 5-minute job.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, one tool.
Look, it took me a lot longer than it should have. There's a little hiccup on this side. Pretty much just watch the video closely on how to install it. But now I have these great little extra holes here with little lock nuts in them, so little nut certs, so I can put, they're utility holes, I can put whatever I want. Anyway, they're in.
If you use a nut cert tool, know how to use it before you use it, because someone might break it.
I may have broken it. Kind of thought it was like a river gun. That being said, I wasn't given very concise instruction. They did say squeeze hard.
Wasn't allowed to use the good gun.
And then we said squeeze hard.
Give him the basic one. You broke.
No, well, I actually won't take that. I won't take that at all. They said squeeze really hard and good luck. And I thought, geez, I'm going to have to give it some welly. And I just bloody absolutely squeezed the hell out of it and just blew the back off it. Anyway, well, there's a lifetime warranty on King Chrome, isn't there?
I don't know if there's a nat warranty on the King Chrome.
No, it says lifetime warranty.
We might have to go and claim it, I think.
Absolutely. Anyway, they're in. So yeah, as I said, just nice little storage pouches. We don't know what we're going to put in them yet, but I'm sure we'll find something. This area is sort of accessing a lot, so it's going to be nice to have a little bit of extra space. So yeah, that's all done. We are starting to put a few components to build out in. We will get into more detail about the sort of the nuts and bolts of it, because it's a really, really nice bloody bit of gear. As you can see, it's alley, powder coated. But before we get everything in, I just wanted to show you quickly. Steve's got a really smart little sort of section here just to put the stock wheel winder and jack winder and everything like that in. So it's just nicely sort of tucked in behind there. It's just the little details which are really making it. So yeah, but we'll get a bit more in before I really run you through the details of it.
This area?
On this side.
And you can get now the bundle which consists of the data card. Yes. So anyway, I just want to say that I can't get the bundle. But listen, I want to.
Hey, Raymond, here with you for Triple J News.
G'day everyone. So while the Troopy is getting finished up back in Sydney, I'm just back here in Tumut, and I thought I'd run through sort of all our camping gear, all the stuff that's going to be going in the Troopy that we need for touring. This stuff is stuff we've collected over a couple of years traveling now, and a lot of it's really good quality stuff that we're probably going to have for life. So I thought it's kind of interesting, some of the stuff, so I'll run through it and show you what we've got. So first up, I'll probably run through sort of all our cooking options that we're going to have in the new Troopy. So starting off here, something I've seen a few people use and have. So this is the spare tyre bray from Front Runner. So essentially these legs, which are adjustable, go on your spare tyre, so it slips on. It's a great place to sort of have something because it's kind of dead space back there. And it is a grill plate, it's a hot plate. You can chuck that over a fire. Big surface, which is really cool for us because this trip we're going to be traveling with quite a few people. So having a big surface that we can all communally cook on is going to be great. Yeah, it's an interesting product, something a bit different. As I said, from Front Runner. So really keen to give this a try on this next trip because I feel like we're going to be cooking on fire a lot. Out in the canning, I'd say pretty much every night we're going to have a big fire. So yeah, this will get quite a bit of use, I think. All right, so next up, we've just got our companion cooker. This is just a gas cooker. I've had this for a few years now. It's not the best quality, it's just companion stuff, so it's average, cheap sort of made stuff. But look, it works, and we were sort of umming and ahhing whether we replace it with like a Jetboil Genesis system. It's like $400, and we just said we don't need to spend the money. We've got this, it worked. That's one of our sort of options. This is gonna be for cooking when we need, you know, multiple pots and pans because it has 2 burners. And we're going to have a small gas bottle mounted on our spare tyre shelf, and our Maxtrax table is going to be where this is going to be used. So gas bottle right there, and we're just going to be able to plug it straight in and start cooking, which is nice. Our other option, which I don't have on me, we are getting it in a couple of days' time, We are going to have a little single burner induction plate. So with our new 240 volt, sorry, our new 12 volt system, we're going to have the option to use induction because it's a pretty big system. We're going to use induction, say, for like, you know, quick cooks, if we only need one pan, we don't want to set the gas up, or even just reheating a bit of food for lunch. Just being able to get it out really quickly, plug it in and get it going is a great advantage of induction. Yeah, it's just going to be nice to have all these options that will allow us to sort of, you know, if we run out of something, you know, power or gas, we can use either. And there's sort of, we've got the quicker options or the options to cook, you know, more pots, you know, use more pots and pans. So with all those options, you're probably wondering what we're actually going to be cooking on using pots and pans, because we need our pots and pans to perform across fire, induction, gas, everything. So I'll grab those now. All right, so these are our primary pots and pans we're going to be using. So these are all from Solid Techniques. It's an Australian company and I love their gear. I'll show you how much I love their stuff. These are our pots and pans we have at home. So these are much bigger or smaller. All our pots and pans at home, we are using Solid Techniques gear. Holly got this pan for me for a birthday present probably about a bit over a year ago, and I loved it and I wanted sort of all the gear. So the beauty of this, it is conductive, so it can be used on induction. But because it's one piece of steel or iron or whatever it is, I actually don't know what it is, you can throw it on fire as well. So we have the option to cook on any surface, which is great for us. But just as pots and pans themselves, they're really nice to use. You don't find you're really cranking the heat much. So yeah, I really like that. So this is our new sort of pot we've got for this trip. As you can see, it's a two-piece, again, from Solid Techniques, conductive, all the same as the rest of their gear. This is their noni range, which I think is for more acidic foods. But essentially the lid doubles up as a skillet, so dual function is really nice. So we're really keen to give all this gear a go on this trip. That is our main pot and pan setup. This is pretty much all we're taking for our cooking. Moving on to the next item. These are our chairs. These are our front runner banded chairs. You've seen these in videos before, I'm sure. We've had them for quite a few years now, still going strong. As you can see, they're just nice and small and compact. They're not your sort of typical camp chairs, which take up a lot of room. Typical camp chairs, you find yourself really lounging back, and they are comfortable, but these are quite upright. They're sort of the height of a normal seat that you would be sitting at a dining room table, things like that, which is great for Holly and I for working on the computers, on the laptops, and we've got on the camp table outside. Really nice chair, again, space. So pretty much everyone that we're going on this trip with, Cam Court, Adrian and Ellen, they've all bought these chairs as well because they just saw how much space they were taking up in our car and they kind of wanted to get on that as well. So there are camp chairs, an important item for everyone. All right, recovery. Sabre 12K recovery kit. Look, as you can see, it's a really big bag, really well-made bag. It's from Kelmat, it's an Australian company, so it's really cool that it comes in something like that. This has got a heap of gear in it. You've got your dampener, kinetic rope, soft shackles, you've got utility rope, winch extension rope, gloves. It's just a really well-rounded kit. This stuff is really well made. The Sabre recovery gear, all their soft goods. I'll just show you this as well. Now, this isn't part of the kit. This is their rear recovery hitch. That'd be really nice just to be able to whack into the tow bar if we need to recover someone. So yeah, that's our recovery gear for the trip. As I said, we might have to take it out of the bag to fit it in, but really nice to have all that. All right, next up, this is a more recent purchase. We just got this the other day. So this is from Drifter. This is actually a Starlink bag. So some of you may know that we got Starlink. So essentially, if you don't know what it is, Starlink's Elon Musk's satellite internet. It's just going to allow us to literally have internet anywhere in the country. It is a bit cumbersome, the satellite dish, so this bag is specifically made for it. You fit the router in it, you fit all the cables, and it just keeps it really neat. Some of you are probably thinking, why do you need satellite internet all over the country? For Holly and I, our business, like every facet of it is run through the internet. We need to respond to clients pretty quickly. We need to deliver things. It is essential for our day-to-day function. Being able to have that option now on the road is just unbelievable. Dare I say it, a game changer. A few people are going to get pretty emotional in the comments about me saying those words, I'm sure they always do. Drifter, this is one of their Australian-made canvas products, which is nice. It's not one of the Stockton stuff. Really nice to keep that neat. Got our sand flag here. This is from Bush Ranger. We've used this for a couple of Simpson crossings and Robe, a few places. So yeah, it's a really good sand flag. It's high quality. We're getting a fair bit of use out of it. I definitely recommend getting a better quality one of these because quite often the lower quality ones tend to break and snap, which is a real pain if you're on the tracks and you actually need it for safeties. Good bit of gear to have. Quickly, this one here, I've had this for years, since actually we left in 2019. It was a bit of a gift that I bought myself. It's just my Leatherman. This is the Leatherman Signal. If you don't have a multi-tool like this when you're traveling, get one. I use this every day, multiple times when we're traveling for anything and everything. They're just a fantastic thing to always have handy. All right, this is a new addition to our kit. This is our cutlery and cookware. So this is the front runner cutlery roll. So as you can see, quite small, quite compact, which is a big thing for us. And that's all the stuff we've managed to fit into it. So standard, it comes with heaps of knives, a chopping board, forks, spoons, bottle openers. The only things we've added to it are these tongs, a wooden spoon as opposed to a metal one. And we've thrown this in as well. This is the knife from Osprey, Harry from Fighter 4. Rates these things. I thought I'd treat myself at the last 4 drive show and bought one of these. It's a pretty cool knife. So that's going to be our main camp knife. We were running the Navigator Gear Kitchen Buddy, which is really, really good. We really liked it. It's just for this setup, this will work better because we have more storage in the Troopy. We can have all our spices and herbs and things that we had in the Kitchen Buddy in their own spot inside the Troopy. So all we needed was something for our cutlery and our cookware. So yeah, this worked really well for us. All right, next up, you've probably seen this one before. This is a Wolf and Grizzly fire pit. We've used this for a couple of years now. What I love about it is this here, this tiny little bag is our fire pit. A lot of fire pits are really big and cumbersome, and they're something that I think a lot of people would question to take because they just are so big and quite dirty. This here is the grill. This here is the fire pit. It just folds up. It's great for sort of 2 people. You're not gonna have a big raging fire on it. 2, 3 people, it's good to cook for. Just keeps your fire nice and contained. You use less fuel, and it's just better for campsites and just the environment in general. Just not having to leave fires and fire pits around. So that's just our fire pit that we take with us. These are our first aid kits. We've had these for a while now. These are from Survival First Aid. So this is the snake bite kit. This is the first aid kit. Great thing about these is everything's just labeled really nicely. And if you use something, you can just sort of see quickly whether you need to replace it. First aid kits are something you'd rather have and not need than need and not have. So hopefully we never use this gear, but it's just good to have some good quality first aid kits, which I think are important to have in your car if you're traveling. All right, this here is our MaxTrax Indeflate. So if you haven't seen this before, essentially you can hook this up to 2 tires at once and inflate or deflate both tires at once. So you do your rears and then your fronts. If you're like me and you've had a pretty average sort of tire deflator in the past, you know that can take quite a while to deflate them. And then inflating as well, it takes quite a long time. The beauty about this is you can sort of set it up and just kind of forget about it and just check your tires every now and then just for the pressures. So it saves your knees as well. You're not getting down in the dirt, on the ground. MaxTrax Indeflate, if you haven't seen it, just go check it out. They're a really cool bit of gear. Trusty jet boil. This is just really nice to quickly boil some water. It's super quick. So for those quick roadside stops, you just want a quick cup of tea or a coffee. These are fantastic. Boils water within sort of a minute or 2 minutes for a couple of cups of water. So that's a nice bit of gear. We've had this for quite a few years now. Really well made. So that's great. This here is a toilet paper roll holder that Holly got at the 4 drive show called the Dunny Buddy. It's a pretty cool idea. I mean, how often do you have your rolls sort of shoved down somewhere in the car and they get all dirty, dusty, or a bit of water on them and they just get real mangy. So this is just to keep them sort of nice and contained. You can take it with you when you do your business. Speaking of, this is our shovel we've got. Again, this is from Navigator. We've had this for a few years now. It's got a fair bit of use. It's a 3-part shovel, so you can kind of have a medium shovel or a really short one. It's not like an amazing shovel if you were to like really have to shovel for a few days if you're really bogged in the mud. But just for light duty stuff and just how compact it is, it's really good for that. So that's our shovel that we're going to be using for this trip. We've got our trusty tool roll here. I've been using this for a few years now. This is Atlas 46 tool roll. Tool rolls have their advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are really nice and sort of compact. Everything's contained neatly. This one here, as I said, it's from Atlas 46. It's made in the USA. Super high quality canvas. Despite being dirty, it still looks brand new. You'll see we're probably pulling this out a couple of times a day to grab tools out. The disadvantages with your tool rolls, generally whatever socket or spanner you actually need, it's always the last one that you pull out. So it's not sort of neat. And you know, you have toolboxes with sort of foam inserts and that, which is really nice, but just take up more room. So it's kind of just a compromise, which is the same with everything when you're going camping and touring. All right, everyone, that is the bulk of our camp gear that's going to be going into the Troopy. There's a lot of little small things like our emergency beacon, the EPIRB, our handheld UHF, our fly nets that sort of go in the seat buddies on our seat behind us. But this is sort of the big bulky items, the major stuff that we're going to be putting in the Troopy. If you are interested in any of it, just check in the link below in the description. Some of it we have codes for through the companies, so if you want to get it, you might get a discount. So yeah, just check that in the description. But yeah, we will get back to the Troopy build. Join us next week for the maiden voyage of the Canning Stock route trip in the new Troopy. Cheers.